Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is me, OC Steve, and with February wrapping up, I felt it was just a good moment to kind of hit back home some of the campaigns that launched this month and some of the ones that I backed and some of the ones that I wanted to highlight. So let's sit back, relax, and check out a couple of them, if you will. So let's start out with, at the beginning of the month, we had the Monster MD team of Von Klaus and Monica Maccagni debut Terror in the Trenches. So this was a campaign I was really looking forward to. We had Vaughn on at the beginning of the month to discuss the campaign. Him and Monica are a great tag team. They just really gel. Vaughn's storyline of what he wants to do with the Black Terror seems totally rad as a public domain character that's kind of from this pulpy kind of era. It was neat to see his stance on it, where he mixed more so of a trench warrior kind of vibe for the Black Terror. Obviously, you know, he was in the World War II era. This is set kind of in the 70s. So he's retired the mantle of the Black Terror, but his past comes back to haunt him in the form of these crazy super soldier kind of macabre kind of zombie-esque Nazi warriors that turn his New York landscape into the trenches of a new world war that has come back home for him to have to fight. So the action is ridiculous. I mean, you just look at some of the panels right here. The coloring is superb, and the campaign is really well developed by Vaughn. I really got to give him a tip of the hat there. The Total Terror is the one that I backed, and you get a little bit of everything. You get a digital copy of the book. You get a physical copy of the book. You get an exclusive glow-in-the-dark T-shirt of the Black Terror. You get the Terror Files, which are great lithographs and art of kind of individual silhouette characters done by Monica with stats on the back. So it almost is like a secret CIA dossier, if you will. And you get a double-sided poster of Lady Satan with some of the art being done no other than Kelsey Shannon of The Jack Show. And a unique thing that is on the campaign that I want to highlight is the Terror Gas Vial replica, an actual physical prop, because that is the ether that gives the Black Terror his powers. So he inhales that and then he dispenses it, and anybody that's nearby kind of has a scarecrow effect. You can see people see different visions of things that make them afraid, whether it's a giant golem right here or a child that they may have killed. It's literally the embodiment of your fear comes to attack you while he gets super powered and almost goes into berserker rage, just ripping through guys left and right. So I'm kind of looking forward to this. If you're a fan of kind of these weird macabre kind of World War II movies like Overlord, or if you just want to see some great pulp action like The Phantom, I highly recommend this. This is going to be definitely up your alley. So another one that I wanted to hit home and highlight was no other than Crack Pack's own B-Rose. Yes, Black Rose Comics has put out his book. It is out there. It got funded in less than 48 hours, and that's no other than Cerebrum, not Sarah's bum, which I would affectionately call the variant cover from Joe M. Sontag. This is going to be a 60x page cyberpunk novella set in a world where it asks the question that's pretty much an emotional tagline is, what would you do to save a loved one? How far would you go? And what part of you physically or your soul would you be willing to sell to achieve that goal? So it's one brother trying to save another brother in this cyberpunk futuristic landscape where he's having to deal with the criminal underworld because an accident happens to him, and they're starting to become a little bit more machine than man. So it's going to be an interesting storyline. Like I said before, the cover from Joe M. Sontag is rad. He has a black box set, which is going to come with both variant covers, a digital copy, 5 metal prints, which we could assume are probably being done by Phoenix Animation, his good friend and co-host on B-Rose's channel. We haven't seen the box art yet for the box. It's just kind of a filler right here, a placeholder, if you will. And if any other stretch goals get unlocked along the way, right now, I believe B-Rose is going to do a poll where you get to pick either the midget magnet or the flat car magnet. And that's just one of many stretch goals that will be unlocked throughout the course of the campaign. So if you enjoyed Cyberpunk 2077, or you just enjoy the kind of future dystopian world of a cyberpunk-esque kind of storyline and want to escape for a bit, I would highly recommend checking out B-Rose's book. And so another campaign that I wanted to talk about that even dropped this week too was no other than Mark Poulton. That's right, the moral compass, man. You can almost set your clock to him when it comes to crowdfunding comic books, because the fact is he delivers on time, he's dependable, and he fulfills. So you know you're going to get a fun ride when you back a book by Mark Poulton. I haven't, been mistreated or misled by any of the books that he's done. I've gotten Viking Wolf. I've backed all the Graveyard Shift books myself. Bought the high tier of U.S. Assassin. So hopefully down the line in U.S. Assassin 4, I will be one of the many Steel Force recruits being trained by no other than the late, great Rowdy Piper. His estate was kind enough to lend the license to Mark, and Mark is a huge fan of Rowdy Piper, so it'll probably be cool to see if I survive or if I'm going to be a Kenny in South Park kind of moment. But this is another take for a public domain Golden Age hero. That's right. The Black Owl was originally kind of set, in this earlier age, a little more campy, kind of pre-Batman. A lot of people thought that it almost inspired Batman with the look, the feel, the costume, and that whole bit. So Mark is deciding to take the Black Owl and bring it into a modern age and kind of do what DC was intending to do, but didn't deliver, was to have a generational hero, to see heroes age in real time. So it's his story of pretty much taking on the Black Owl mantle, and it's the Black Owl's grandson who decides to be the new Caped Crusader, if you will, or that's kind of the main premise of this book. So there's a couple different tiers. You can get the different variant covers. I backed the Shelby Robertson cover myself. But what's unique as an add-on to this campaign is if you enjoyed the Wrestle Buddies back in the day, he's kind of doing a Black Owl Wrestle Buddy. So that's an add-on to this campaign. Relatively inexpensive for $40 to get in a limited run tchotchke that's a part of this campaign. But the artwork, just looking at the way how the shine is on the Black Owl, and also the art from the interiors that he has done by Greg Poulsen. When they look at this, when they even go back to the Golden Age, when they're reminiscing and having flashbacks about the original Black Owl, they resort to the original costume, the original kind of replica of the paper grade. You can see him fighting the Green Mummy there. So I'm digging that. I backed that book, so it'll be cool. He has a black and white edition too, if you just want to see the line colors, done and inked without all the coloring. Look at that crazy level of replica of that Rain, that kind of famous Spider-Man No More kind of silhouette where he drops the costume of the Black Owl there. What's neat is if you kind of want to get an idea of how Mark writes, he does offer the script book as well. I back that for U.S. Assassin just in case if I ever have an idea and I want to go the next degree. If I'm going to emulate anybody, I'm going to definitely want to emulate Mark and his style of writing, just to kind of see how he adapts things to paper. There are some rad add-ons. The co-creator, Greg Poulsen, for $75 is going to be doing a sketch tier. That is relatively crazy for getting an original piece of art from a campaign for under $100. Here's a little preview of the Black Owl Slam Buddies, and there's a mini one at the keychain level. And the first 100 backers, which I'm a part of, get an exclusive CG Wrestling trading card of the Moral Compass himself that kind of backs that early kind of WWF style of the 1980s when they had those Topps cards. So, we're currently at the point of this campaign hitting its first stretch goal, which we're going to get a Greg Poulsen card. So check that out, and there'll be other ones along the way, but you get a solid story when you back anything from Mark. And the last bit that I wanted to update on that's been an ongoing campaign, but what's cool is that Patrick Thomas Parnell, PTP himself, just added the Johnny Phantasm Extreme 93 action figures to his campaign. So I wanted to show a look at that. Obviously, there were a lot of people that missed out the first time around, so Patrick saw a supply, and he's demanding it. So I dig that. So let's take a look at that before we wrap this up here. And let's see. Here we go. Johnny Phantasm action figures right there. We got the Radical Blue, the Slime Pit Green, which depending on the way how the light hits it, since it's kind of a translucent figure, almost has a glow-in-the-dark effect. And then there's the classic base black Johnny action figure. But the difference is, in comparison to the previous Johnny Phantasm figures, is that all the metallic pieces are kind of almost in this gold. And as a rad add-on, if you're a proud member of the Crack Pack, he is going to add a Keshi exclusive translucent, kind of clear crack pack Keshi figure. You can get that for about, here's the red version of the glow in the dark of that, but this is going to be clear. So if you want to get that, you can add that on, and you'll get those right away. You don't have to wait for the books as they're currently in development. Patrick's going to send those out to you. So that's just kind of some stuff I wanted to hit home and highlight and trying to make you aware, because it was a crazy February, man. I mean, we had a lot of books. We got March just knocking on the door in a couple days. Campaign I'm looking forward to in March is Roach Balls by Rich Ayala. The artwork's great. Check out his YouTube page where he kind of shows you some art in progress. But that's it for right now. As always, please like, share, subscribe the whole videos, but get involved in the conversation more than anything else. If you backed a CG campaign, let me know what you backed, at what level, and what books are you interested for the rest of the year of 2022. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.